Howdy guys, Jimmy Song here. I wanted to talk a little bit about Bitcoin maximalism, what it is and why it's so important and what the thesis is. A lot of people call me a Bitcoin maximalist, and I think that's a fair statement. The term comes from Vitalik Buterin, he of Ethereum fame. He called people Bitcoin maximalists sort of as an insult, as a way to say, okay, well, you only believe in Bitcoin, I believe in lots of other stuff. I think it was a way for him to seem like he's in the majority or something like that. And a lot of people sort of took up that term, even the maximalists. They were like, hey, that's not a bad way to describe who we are. And he kind of meant it as an insult. It's become sort of a label instead. Anyway, what is it? Well, the idea behind Bitcoin maximalism is that you don't really need multiple, digital currencies or cryptocurrencies. You don't need a coin for dentists, for example. You don't need niche ones. And the question you might have at this point is, well, aren't there like lots of real world currencies? Why can't we have that in the digital realm? So, for example, there's the U.S. dollar, the euro, the yen, and the renminbi and so many others. But why can't you? Well, here's the reason. That's actually a relic of fiat money, and it's the reason why those different currencies exist is because each country wants control of their own money. If I mean, some of them do peg it to, say, the Japanese yen or the U.S. dollar or whatever, in which case they don't have as much control, and that always makes government people nervous because they like to control everything. But that said, when you have multiple currencies, there's a tax to be paid because you have to do lots of exchanges. So, for example, the foreign exchange market is like, they trade trillions of dollars a day, largely because there's basically money changers that are making money in the middle. And if you think about money, it is really a social coordination problem, not really anything like a feature problem or something like that. Sure, some monies have better features than others, and scarcity tends to be the big thing that's required. But it's a social coordination problem because if you have one person that has one money and another person that doesn't accept that money, well, then you can't really trade. And trade is really at the heart of what makes civilization possible, what makes specialization possible. There's no way that a person could be like a cobbler or something, making shoes for other people, if there wasn't money, right? If there wasn't a way to store value in and be able to trade it later for bread or whatever. Instead of finding a baker that needs shoes in order to go get some bread, the cobbler can just accept whatever money it is and then use that money with the baker. Now, if you have multiple currencies and the baker has like one type of currency and the cobbler has another type of currency and stuff, that makes things horribly inefficient, and it takes away a lot of the utility of money. So you actually want everybody to have the same money, and this is actually what we had from about 1870 to about 1910 in the world, the Gilded Age or La Belle Epoque. This was some of the most prosperous time in the entire world. On a per capita basis, there was more innovation and better companies and everything else. It was the Gilded Age for that reason. And that's what you get when everyone, and part of that was because everyone was on the gold standard. It was very easy to convert to another currency because each dollar or Deutschmark or whatever, it was always you can convert it to gold and then convert it back to the other thing, and it was always stuck to however many grams of gold or whatever, and that's how it all worked. And that was the social coordination was very high, and that allowed civilization to thrive. Bitcoin maximalists believe that this is the essential problem that Bitcoin is solving, is the social coordination problem. When everyone is on the same money, then you can do stuff and you can trade more efficiently, and you can have specialization, and everyone can have jobs that don't involve like farming your own food and then tuning your own car or even making your own car. So I mean, it's a good thing. It allows civilization to to expand and to exist and so on. So the Bitcoin maximalist perspective is a particular view of money, which is that money is a social coordination thing, and that's what it's all about. And you don't really need these other coins. They don't provide any utility. Now, is it possible that one particular coin will become, besides Bitcoin, will have a particularly niche use? Possibly. But there are network effects in play here, and there's all sorts of motivations for entrepreneurs to disrupt those businesses. Should, say, Denta coin become like the coin for dentists, and Bitcoin become like money for everybody else? That's kind of ripe for disruption, and that's kind of how maximalists think about these things. So anyway, hopefully that explains things or makes things clear to you. If please tell me what you think in the comments. Anyway, this song is done.